All right, for part two, we're going to go in this section of the museum. I might not go to talk about every single item, but we'll try to do a decent job here. We've got clubs from various people here. You can hopefully read who they are. So from left to right, we've got Haphazard, Ron Lubman, Jay Meyer, Lou Nelson, Lindsay Leslie, Homer Stack, and Larry Weeks. Here we have props on the left, three clubs and a mouse stick from Bobby Jewell, the only still living person that was there at the founding of the IJA. Wonderful, wonderful guy. There in the middle, the silver club is from Foodie. And there on the right are some clubs and a head pedestal and a plate and some cups and saucers from Tommy Curtin. The wonderful Tommy Curtin. Here we have some rings and balls and a mouse stick from George Lurch, famous wire walking juggler. We've got some props here from Jack Parker, the balls, rings, and club, a mouse stick from Bobby Smith, and a glass globe from Orelli from Poland. We do some combination tricks with those. Down here we have a top hat from Mel Odie, and then a boomerang hat from the Bakers. And here we have props from Johnny Lux. We've got bottle clubs and an old brass spinning plate and a parasol and some wooden rings and a breakaway wooden ring. And here in the corner we have some those striped poles are all from Johnny Lux. And that big pole there, that big thick one, is the pole that I used. It's a telescoping pole that goes up to 60 feet. And I used that to break the Guinness record for the tallest object ever balanced on someone's chin. Here we have a devil stick in between the two from George Lurch. And down here we have clubs and a torch from left to right from Art Jennings, Doug Cuden, Harry Lind, Hugo Garrido, Henrico, Lee Marks, and Francisco Alvarez. Here we have props from Betty Gorham, the first person to join the IJ after it was started. We have a wonderful head pedestal here and some spinning balls and a club. And then we have props from Bill Natt. We've got these ball-in clubs and these knives, and then these plates and sickles and rings and battle axe and torches and spinning sticks, all from Bill Natt as well. Up top, the club on the left is from Javi Burgess and Judy Finelli, and then Stu Reynolds, and then Matika Viraja and Lacey Andres Jr., and then Ken Sherburne with those clubs, those three there from Ken Sherburne were originally owned by Bobby May. And then we've got these three five-sided clubs, mirrored clubs from George Moore. George Moore was a really cool juggler back in the 30s and 40s and 50s. Here in the green tub are props from the Juggling Jewels. They were 5 British women who started performing together in 1918 and performed up until maybe 1960, I want to say, but a very long career. And so we've got a club and some hoop/rings and tennis rackets there. And then we've got some props here from the Elgins on the left. This hat here, and that hat there, and that club. And then these rings in this club here are from the Juggling Gems. Rose and Francine. Well, I can't remember their last name at the moment. Oh well. You can look it up. Here we have a horn and ring set from Edith Sandor. And then 2 Japanese style bocce sticks from Barnaby. And then 3 wooden plates made by Harry Lynn that belong to Nick Gatto. And down here on the left, we have a club, a Van Wyck club that was used by Stan Kavanagh, the famous Australian comedy juggler. And then these 3 basket clubs were made by Harry Lynn and used by Joe Cook, the very famous vaudeville star who became after becoming a star as a juggler and variety entertainer, moved to radio and then eventually to film. Down here we have props from the Juggling Jacksons. Harry Lynn clubs in the corners there. Some knives and a knife mouse stick there, and balls and rings. And spools that were used like cigar boxes, and a Homer Stack aluminum spinning plate. Here we have some props from the Johannides. We've got Johnny Johannides there. It's a arm cuff ball spinning prop, and then we've got a mouse stick and 3 kind of cage clubs there used by his son Rene. All right, now we've got some props from the Mongadors. We've got this club here. There is a Van Wyck club, but these clubs here, the small one and the 3 big ones, those are the famous Mongador clubs. They are wicker clubs covered in plaster of Paris, and they started using those around 1900. We have a torch, and we've got a wooden plate and 3 wooden discs that were used by the Mongadors as well. Amazing props. And then we've got shaker cups here. This one on the left was used by Lou Folds, and these 3 were made and used by John McPeak. And let's believe this one here on the right is the first shaker cup ever manufactured specifically for juggling. So that's wonderful to have. Up here we've got clubs from left to right from Victor Ponce, Paul Ponce, and then a club and a plate from the 2 Linas from the mid-40s. Those are wonderful props. And then we've got a club there from the Safarligans, Russian troupe. All right, we're going to go all the way across the top here. I'm going to try and tell you all these clubs if we can do that. We've got from left to right the club from Rootberry, Finesco Troupe, Valerdi, Bruhante, Finesco Troupe, Stevanovic Brothers, Fabio Stevanovic, Chow Caesar Stevanovic, Redefining Gravity in the pink, Jonah Botvinnik Greenhouse in the red, Michael Minez, Waldo, Ray, Crash or Burn, that was me and Jay Gilligan, Huel Spett, 2 from Huel Spett, he makes those clubs, really interesting clubs there, Alan Howard, Wally Eastwood, Vova Galchenko, the one with the claw on it's from the Dewdrop Jugglers, Larry Merlo, Ivan Dragso, Obadiah Thomas, Tom Dewart, and we've also got some of Tom's shaker cups back there. Dan Menendez, these are one of the clubs that Dan made to learn to juggle with, his first clubs. Billy Ray, Dana Tyson, Charlie Fry, Toby Walker, Cindy Marvel, Laser Vaudeville, John Galissimo, Gabrielle Bedoin, Nicholas Soren, Rick Robinson, Bob Whitcomb, Jessica Hintoff, Jonathan Brady, Jorge Vilches, Bill Dietrich. Oh, this one's Luke Wilson. We dropped it there. Luke Wilson, Delaney Bayless, Emil Dahl, Patrick Elmert, Wes Peden, and then the other Wes Peden one fell here. Let me put it back. And we've got a Wes Peden club ring hybrid or hooked together. All right, let's go back where we stopped off. Here we have some props from Eddie Corello Sr., the pedestal in the back and the white club, and then Eddie Corello Jr., the ball, and the yellow and red club. I believe one of these is made, the clubs is made from cork, the other one's made from balsa wood. And then we've got props here from Nino Frediani. Rings, clubs, and a spinning ball. Nino passed away just a few years ago, had a long career, and his entire career he was legally blind, and yet he was a world-class performer. Here we have some props from Topper Martin. We've got a hat, a parasol and the parasol ball, and then 3 juggling balls. A wonderful addition to the museum that we got recently. And down here we have props from Ken Benge and Paul Bachman. Ken Benge's a couple clubs. The one on the left he made himself from fiberglass, and then the one on the right next to it is a Harry Lynn club he used. And we've got his rings and his sword there. And then the other props, the mouse sticks, the clubs, and shaker cups and ball were all Paul Bachman. The sword there, Ken Benge used did the dagger and sword balance, but I actually have stolen the dagger to use in my act. I just use a shorter sword. And down here we come to Mark Neiser on the left with the spinning ball and the ring. I believe the ring was made by Ben Decker, maybe, and a mouse stick and a club, and then a hat from Andy Head. Certainly one of the great innovators in hat juggling. And then we've got an axe from Bob Nickerson. We've got some balls from Sean Blue. And we've got a spinning ball from Martin Lamberti. Here we have some props from some famous juggling teams. We've got a machete that was passed around Johnny Carson by the Raspini brothers. That's an incredible addition to the museum. And then we've got clubs from left to right from the Raspini brothers, Air Jazz, Passing Zone, Double Trouble, Flaming Idiots, Flying Karamazov brothers, Wimbledon brothers, and Clockwork. And then we've got some more team props here. We've got some things from the Flying Karamazov brothers and the Wimbledon brothers and Air Jazz and the Raspini brothers. And the club in the back is from Raising Cane. Here we have props from Jay Green, the inventor of the modern juggling club. We've got one of his old Harry Lynn clubs there on the left. We have a club on the right, which actually the top twists off and it becomes a torch. We've got a ring, and we've got a parasol ring there in the right corner, and a parasol and a breakaway plastic devil stick, the first ever take apart devil stick there, and a spinning ball there in the middle. And so Jay Green is very important. Here we have some props on the left from Sean McKinney. We've got some balls, cigar boxes, and a leg ring. We've got a paddle ball from Steve Langley. We've got a club ring and ball from Michael Karras. A early Jay Green European club from Dan Berg, who used them, part of the Wimbledon brothers, and then a Robert Nelson Jay Green American club. Robert Nelson, the famous butterfly man. Here we have a shelf of clubs from Kit Summers. The one on the front was made by him. And then we've got some props on the left from Jaton, the gentleman juggler. In the middle and the right are some props from Steve Regatz. So the red ball and the birdhouse cigar boxes. All right. Here we have some cigar boxes from various people. From left to right, Shinya, Yaya, Yamani, Gizmo Guys, Eric Bates, Adam Culture, and Jeff Damont. And here we have some props from one of my best friends, Eric O'Barry. Got ball, some clubs, 6-sided cigar boxes, a ladle, and one of his ghost cubes. Here we have a derby from Constant Gearling, the gentleman juggler, and then a cigar box and top hat from Christian Christoph. Here we have a ball and club from the Fusco brothers, amazing circus jugglers. And then we've got some props from Jay Gilligan. We've got in the back the prototype for the Holy Club, and then we have the first three fathead clubs ever produced by Renegade. And here we have a ball and some cigar boxes from Tai Tojo. Next we have a baton and a club from Francoise Rocher. The club is a club she used as a child to learn juggling, and then of course one of her famous batons that she juggles seven with quite well. And in the back is another baton used by Ashley Ellis, former IJA Juniors champion. Here we have 5 G-balls used by Erin Stevens for many, many years as she traveled around the world as an ambassador for juggling. We have a wine glass used by Tom Wall in his mouth stick work. And we have a hat and club from Gina Schwartzman Christiani. The hat is used for hat spinning. I've got the stick back in the corner back there. Here we have an assortment of balls. On the bottom row, we've got Zach McAllister, Stanislav Vysotsky, Victor Key, Christian Vonvik, Julius Preu, David Furman, Tony Duncan, Matan Pressburg, and Matan Pressburg. That red one right there is one of the beanbags that Matan used to qualify 6 balls at the age of 6. In the back, starting on the right, we have Jack Denger, Michael Ferrari, Luke Davies, Institute of Juggleology, the Bounce Sticks, La Flaca, Cynthia Boutron, Lang Benjaminson, Mark Angelo Pishock, and Charles Pishock. Here in the corner, we've got a net from Tony Pezzo. If you've seen that act, it's an amazing act. He juggles a net with some balls and does amazing things. And we've got a racket from, I want to make sure we got it right, Dave Kelly. That's right, Dave Kelly. And we've got a hoop from Fer Sumano, a wonderful Mexican hoop juggler and hoop artist. We've got a ring from Willie Colombiani that he used for 12 rings. We've got a Catherine Wagner ring here and a Nicholas Soren ring. And then we've got this horse. This is Gildova's horse that he used it as a prop stand when the head and the tail were folded away during his act. And then at the end of his act, he would whip off a cloth from it and put his feet in the stirrups. The tail and the head would pop out and he would ride it off stage. And you can see a picture of Gil with it there. And then here we have a Raspini Brothers Carabox. If you don't know what a Carabox is, you can look up my article on the Caraboxes. All right, and on the top here we have the 3 whips that Aaron Bonk used to set one of his world records for whip juggling. Okay, and here we have 3 whips that were used by Aaron Bonk to set a world record for whip juggling, cracking the whip every time you catch it while juggling 3 whips. We've got a Larry V basketball. We've got a Reg Bacon plate, wooden bottle, and head pedestal. We've got a Steve Rawlings flowers in a vase that he would juggle that along with a table and a chair. We've got a John Udry teacup. He does all types of things with that. Kyle Driggs umbrella. A truly remarkable loon parasol. A Drew Brown cane, master of cane juggling. We've got this incredible prop from Dennis Pommier. If you've ever seen the video of him using it, it can be toss juggled, it can be rolled, it can be stacked, it can be hung on the body, all types of things. We've got this prop from Greg Kennedy. He has 3 of these props that you stack and manipulate like cigar boxes, but also can do some other neat things with them as well. We have a Diablo from Guillaume Karpovitz. We've got Peter Bone, a ball that he uses for 3-ball balancing. We've got a Peter Bone beanbag. We have a Ben Beaver beanbag. And we have a Frank Olivier Stu Reynolds club. And there we have a poster of me and a picture of me. Oh, I almost missed some things. We'll come back to this. But we've got some props here from the Fabulous Fishers. We have a Old Harry Lynn club, 3 knives, and a wooden plate, probably made by Harry Lynn. We've got an Allen Salk ball, a Michael Davis ping pong ball. We have a Jimmy Shrinka ring and some Jeff Tavagia props, a ring, a club, and a ping pong paddle. Down here we have a bunch of props from Niels Dunker and from Doug Sayers. Niels props on the left and Doug props on the right. And down here we have some different Diablos. We have from left to right, Rio Yabe, pardon me. And down here on the left we have Diablo from Rio Yabe, and then Barrett Felker, and then Hayato Watanabe, and then Donald Grant. We've got 2 from Donald Grant there, and then Tony Freeberg. All right. We've got balls from Isidro Silveira Fernandez on the outsides, and then in between them, we have Josh Horton. I should probably switch that around. We've got a clockwork flower pot. We've got the 12 bean bags that Bruce Serafian used for the first ever 12-ball flash. And we have 2 mouse sticks made and used by Bob Whitcomb. Down here we have a Claude Crumley top hat and bowling ball, both made of fiberglass. And then we have some props here from Angel Agia, some spinning balls, and a leg hoop and a mouse stick. Here we have some props from Tui Wilson on the left, a shaker cup and a Nerf mouse stick prop. And then on the right, we've got some things from Dan Holzman. We've got his volcano ball prototypes there in the middle, and his ring dama, both his prototype and then the finished, 2 different finished versions on the right. Here we have a hat and a comedy medieval chainsaw prop from Jeff Marsh. And in the middle, we've got a spoon used by Chuck Clark to set the world record for the most cups and most spoons in cups trick. And then we've got some boomerang plates, ping pong balls, and silicone balls from Marco Dromtowski. And on the bottom here, we've got a torch and a pink club from Penn Gillette of Penn and Teller. We've got a mouse stick from Mark Fay. We've got a stick used by Boppo, Bruce Timon, for the first ever 9-stick flash. We've got a Scott Sorensen stick that I also believe was used for a 9-stick flash. We've got Ben Decker's lighted Astro balls there in that tube. We've got that red, white, and blue club was one of mine. I learned to juggle 6 and 7 clubs with when I was younger. And then we have a broken Jason Garfield club, broken over his knee when he got mad one time. So that's the majority of the upstairs. We've also got things like this neat thing. If I can get the right angle. But this is the upstairs portion of the museum, which is mostly or pretty much all performer props. And in the next section, we will go downstairs to see some other things. See you in part 3.